A true story of conjuring. The devil made me do it. In 1980, a man was wandering alone on a deserted road in a Connecticut city in the United States. A police car that was on its rounds stopped by, and the cop asked if he was in need of any help. When the man turned, the police were taken aback. The man's name was Arnie Johnson, and he was soaked in blood. He told the police that maybe he had killed someone. He was arrested immediately after that. Before moving forward, let's give a shout out to all our viewers who have not yet subscribed to our channel. We're working really hard to create high-quality animated horror stories, so please subscribe to Bloody Monday and enjoy chilling horror stories every week. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Arnie lived with his fiancée, Debbie, at a rented apartment. They were about to get married, so they shifted to a bigger place. But the two of them were unaware of the fact that the happy life they were looking forward to was going to turn into their most dreaded nightmare. The apartment was huge and seemed nobody had occupied it in a while. Debbie called her family members to help her clean the house. The next day, Debbie's parents and her 11-year-old brother David came by to the newly rented place to help her clean. All of them worked the entire day and were almost done cleaning the entire house. David was assigned the duty to dust all the rooms on the upper floor. He was done with all the rooms except the master bedroom. When he stepped into the room, he felt something weird in there. The room was strangely chilly. While dusting the windows, David saw a well on the backside of the house through the window. The well was very old and looked strange, and it was covered with stones. David kept staring at it, but then he closed the window. The moment he closed the window, he saw a reflection of an old man in the glass, as if the man were standing right behind him. David was startled. He turned back but didn't find anyone. After the family was done with the cleaning, Debbie's parents left in the night, but David stayed back as he wanted to spend a few days with his sister. The same night when David was asleep, he felt that someone was strangling him, and he woke up gasping for breath. When he woke up, he heard a voice that was calling his name. He followed where the voice came from, and it led him to that well in the backyard of the house. David was hypnotized with the voice. His eyes had turned white, and he went on moving toward the well without any control. The well that was covered with stones in the evening was now wide open. David came back to his senses the moment he reached the well, but it was too late. More than a few evil spirits came thrusting out of the well and attacked David. He fell right there and started screaming. Suddenly his eyes changed color from white to red to black, and blood was coming out of his mouth. Debbie and Arnie came out rushing, listening to David's screams. They quickly took him to the hospital, but the doctors couldn't diagnose what had happened to him. After that night, David's behavior changed for the worse. He started talking in strange voices and in different languages. At night, he would go and sit by the well. Sometimes he even hurled out curses in Greek in front of Arnie. Arnie and Debbie had understood that something was very wrong with David, so they got in touch with Ed and Lorraine Warren through a local church. Ed and Lorraine were America's most popular paranormal investigators at the time. When the Warrens came to meet David at Arnie and Debbie's house, they saw a very evil spirit surrounding David. David turned violent seeing them and started throwing pieces of furniture towards them. He started saying some curses in Greek, and soon the evil spirit was overpowering his body. The Warrens understood that it was not just one, but multiple spirits that had possessed David, and so just one exorcism wouldn't be enough to free him. The Warrens performed 3 exorcisms on David with the help of the church. During each time, his body would start burning. He'd float in the air, and his body would be covered with bruises that also bled. Arnie couldn't bear seeing David like this, so during David's last exorcism, Arnie challenged the devil out of anger. He challenged him to leave the young kid's body and try possessing him instead. And that's exactly what followed. The devil not only possessed Arnie, but also killed David through Arnie. Police arrested Arnie, and he told the entire story of what happened. What followed shook the entire world. In the first time in history, an accused murderer pleaded not guilty, stating, "I didn't murder David. The devil made me do it." Like our story? Subscribe to our channel Bloody Monday and keep watching spine-chilling horror stories every week.